Hey guys, I just wanted to reach out to you and let you know that Surewinder is still selling amazing products. Some of you guys have been dragging your feet for whatever reason. If your shoulder hurts, do not waste time. Pull the trigger. I just bought 4 or 5 of them, and we had 2 guys out. You know how much it cost me to pay for 2 guys being out with bad shoulders? We just pulled the trigger and we said, listen, everybody's going to have one on a truck. It's mandatory. You got to use it. Don't hesitate. Don't wait till your guys go down. It's going to cost you more. Buy a Surewinder. All right, guys. So you've been with me for 2 days. You did sales training. You guys are service professionals now, not technicians.
Finally.
What do you guys think?
Definitely a new mindset I'm going to have going back with me. I think the biggest thing I took was finding out the issue that the customer's having first, and then the issue with the garage door, and then, correlating both of those. We get called out for issues with the garage door, and so that's our only concern. And sometimes we do have 6 and 7 calls a day, and so it's I need to get in and out because my next one's 30 minutes away, and I know that one's going to take a while. But it's more so just about building a relationship with the customer, and just hearing them out. Seeing what their issues are, what issues they have been having, and feeling how dire of a situation it is to get it replaced or band-aided, whatever the situation may be.
Yeah. So one thing that's really popular in our industry amongst other garage door companies is that sales equals rip-off. Like, it's a bad thing.
Yeah.
Was there anything that I shared during this time that made you guys feel like I was teaching? And be super honest, like, I'm totally cool. Anything at any time felt manipulative or felt like we would train you for something to take advantage of somebody?
Absolutely not. No, I mean, the way you taught was being there for the customer and giving them the options, like putting the ball in their court. When you're giving prices, you make them feel comfortable with that price and giving them the quality of that price. It's this price because you're getting warranties, you're getting all new things. I mean, just looking out for them in the long run.
Yeah. And Lauren, as a business owner, what was your takeaway?
As a business owner, and also I run the sales and service as well. Biggest takeaway for me, I think, is I have often approached sales expecting the customer to shop like me and want my opinion or my ideas. So I often just gave them one option or what I thought would be best for them. And I'm realizing that it's best to give multiple options because you never know what situation they're in, if they want top of the line and good for life, or if they just want a quick repair so they can sell their house in 2 weeks, whatever. So that was my biggest takeaway, I think, is presenting options and not assuming anything in the place that the customer's at.
That's so good. Menu selling is proven to be one of the best for the customer and one of the best for the business as a whole. And then, like, I'm always shocked by how many people don't understand gross profit and net profit. And we went through that and what garage door companies, how little they make at the end of the day. Was that surprising to you guys?
Extremely
surprising.
I mean, so for those of you listening, one of the things that I do is I try to teach service people, service professionals. We teach that once you get through with this, you're no longer a technician, you're a service professional, because professionals do more than just a technician. A technician diagnoses the problem and fix it. A service professional is prepared, is educated, focused, and goes through the whole process. So I always like to use the term service professional, and we have a rule that every time you say technician, it's 5 push-ups. And
how many did you have to do?
And who did all the push-ups?
I did all the push-ups. So it's hard when you're doing training, but I owned it, and I think I did 3 sets of 15 today, and 2 or 3 sets of 5. It was probably 30 overall between
something
the two
like
days.
that.
Yeah,
give or take.
Yeah. So I always try to teach service professionals what it's like from a business owner's perspective and why we have to charge what we charge. And part of that is just working on the mindset. And so from that perspective, like that little section, like what were some takeaways that you guys had for that?
So that was a good one. That's another thing I'm going to take back with me. I used to not like telling a customer a price sometimes, especially when I was only there for 15 seconds, 5 minutes, whatever the case may be. It's really hard going up and saying, okay, I need $185, but you kind of put it as, this is the biggest moving piece of your house. So it's very important. So it kind of put it in perspective of, how important my job is. And yeah, can be, I guess, quote unquote pricey, but, the price is the price, you know what I mean? It needs to be safe.
And what's expensive to you may not be expensive to me, right? Like,
exactly.
We talked about how different people are at different stages of their life. And, I've got friends of mine who are probably your age and they got millions in the bank and they don't care. Like $185 are like, really, that's it, right?
Yeah.
I had a guy come to my house and work on something. He was great. And when he told me the price, I was like, bro, don't change the price on me, but you're way underpriced.
Yeah.
He was like, really? And I'm like, yeah. And he's like, yeah, bro, I'm struggling, man. He's like, I really should go up on my price. And he's like, I'm just scared all my customers aren't going to be happy. And I'm like, if you're not happy now, like, what difference does it make, right? Like,
Yeah.
You're willing to sacrifice so that all your customers are happy so they can get it as cheap as humanly possible. That's not a win for anybody, right? Except for the customer. So if you can make more for the business, then it opens up the opportunity for you to make more as an employee as well.
I mean, and you also have to be confident in your price. I mean, that's one thing that I have to work on is that, yeah, it may be pricey, but you're also the professional out there, and they're not just paying for the part, they're paying for your knowledge to know what's wrong and to how to fix it effectively and to look out for them in the long run. It's all about confidence.
Yeah. And we did role play, speaking of confidence. And so what did you guys think of the role play?
Well, I loved it.
Personally, I wish I didn't go first.
You were like the closest one to me.
Yeah,
you
it's
need
one
to
of
probably
those-
strategically change that next time.
Sacrificial lamb.
Yeah, there's got to be one. But, after seeing everybody else go up there, I kind of realized, I think after about 2 or 3 people, everybody kind of saw the format and kind of got more used to their normal regimen when they walk into a garage.
You did well, by the way. I'm not going to lie.
I appreciate it, but there's definitely some things I missed out on. But it's the things I'll take back with me, I guess. And I'm doing a fairly good job. I guess that's why my company decided to send me here.
Absolutely.
So, it's the improvement I'll make, I guess.
I mean, and it actually really surprised me because we have people here we have one guy that's been doing it for 3 weeks. And he did really well.
Yeah,
I mean,
did do well.
they are the future of the door company.
Yeah.
I mean, we all got to start from somewhere. It's always on the job training.
Right. Anything, like if you had to give one tip to our listeners and say, like, this was my one key takeaway that I really liked about being here, like, I'm going to take back this and implement it first, what would it be? We'll start with you on this side and go around.
It's just like just that we're there for you. We're always going to have your best interests at heart. And we're not there just to fix your door. We're there to listen to you, more importantly, about what's going on in your daily life and see if we can just make you smile for that day. I mean, that's my biggest thing. I enjoy making people smile and happy. And if I can do anything outside of the garage door to make your life a little better, I'm absolutely going to do it.
And I thought that was super cool. So, like, your company,
A1 Door Company, by the way.
yeah, and it's A1 Door Company out of
Richmond, Virginia.
Richmond, not associated with A1 Door,
No.
Tommy Mello. So, just for clarity, because
Yeah.
I know a lot of our listeners know him. So, you guys are encouraged to ask your customers while you're there, is there anything else that you need, whether that's like move a heavy box or replace a light bulb that might be too high up for an elderly person to replace, or even if it's in the house, like man over here was like changing a chain on like a lawnmower or something. Like that's crazy, right?
Yeah, it's just to get them, for one, you're there, you have to build that trust on the initial introduction. Yeah. So if they trust you, what I do is if there's something they would like me to do, I ask, are you comfortable with me helping you with this? And a lot of the elderly people, they're going to be very trusting, but there are some people that don't. You have to build that rapport with them, and to be able to earn that trust. It's not just given, it's earned. And it does go a long way. I mean, because then you have instilled that customer is going to call you back, either request you by name or just call the company, period. Right. You have kept a customer for life.
Yeah, I love that, and I'm probably going to talk to my general manager about
absolutely.
It, see if we.
I'll come back and I'll teach a class on that.
Yeah, there you go. What's the one takeaway you would give to someone that you think is so valuable that you're going to take it back and implement it ASAP?
I'd probably say just whenever we show up to a house, because I think we all kind of can take blame to it, is we just start overlooking the door as the customer's talking to us. Whether whoever I am, whoever the customer is, it's just not. It's rude to not look at someone when they're talking to you. And that was just that's probably my biggest thing.
I think that's a great one, honestly, because as a consumer myself, I love the feeling of being heard.
Yeah.
Because
understood.
I'm laying out the foundation of things that I think might be important to you to know when you're doing your safety inspection and building your quotes, right? And I'm trying to give you that information. If you're not even looking at me and you're inspecting the door, like, I call it lusting over the door, because us door guys just have a tendency to do it. We don't even know we're doing it, right? But I've just seen it so many times when I'm in a garage training somebody. They're not even engaged in the conversation like they should be, and they're literally looking at the door.
And then you have the customer build up walls. I don't trust you no more. You're not paying attention to me.
It's like he's not even paying attention to me, and you just got there, right? You're talking within the first couple minutes of being with the customer, and you're just ignoring them. Yeah. And so I think that's going to make a huge impact for you, and I think that's a great one. What about you?
For me, I think it's just the whole idea of building an experience for the customer. What we're saying is there anything else we can do for you? We all love Chick-fil-A, but not mostly because of the food. It's experience. What you leave there and you're satisfied, and taking that into the service industry. They called you because their doors broke, but they're going to remember you for how you treated them and how you related to them more than what you did to the door. And that is going to return more revenue for you as they tell your friends, hey, this guy is super nice. This company treated me well, gave me options. So that's the big takeaway for me, just to show the customer that you're there for more than just the door. You're there to be a friend.
Consistency in everything, including price, reliability, quality, not just quality, but great quality control. These are things that describe Somer USA. Somer's not some startup company, not one that you need to be worried about going out of business in the near future. Somer and their family of businesses are $200 million companies. They're in over 100 countries, and they have locations in 20 countries. This is a large organization who stands behind their product and works through integrity. And there's not another company out there willing to drop what they're doing and help you out like Somer. These guys are awesome. Not only have they been loyal to the Torsion Talk podcast, they've been loyal to the technicians and the owners of the companies who install their product. In my opinion, if you're not at least offering Somer as an additional option, you're cheating yourself. Listen, first-time dealers, I've got a special for you. If you buy 10 or more Somers, while supplies last, we will offer you free shipping. You have no more excuses. The prices are great. The product is amazing. Go check out Somer USA and order 10 for free shipping.
And I mean, and it just rolls back to customer is always right, and you're there for the customer, and without the customers, we in the door industry wouldn't have jobs. So we have to put them first, period. You want to treat them the way you would want to be treated. If anything in your house breaks, you want the professional that comes out to fix it to treat you like you are their only customer for the day. And that's what we do every day.
Yeah. So I have a story about that. I recently sold my house last year. And our real estate agent, she's really good. And one of the things that I asked my wife was, we were like 3/4 of the way through, and it was a lot. Like, we had a lot of questions. We just we were probably a little high maintenance. And I told my wife, I said, man, you know what's crazy is that I feel like Rachel only has one client, and it's us. But I know that's not true.
Yeah.
Like, how does she do it? And I've been in sales my whole life, and I was shocked. But she's really good at what she does. And, she obviously sets boundaries, which I think is important to salespeople. But at the same time, she was available. We knew when she was available. She always got back to us. We didn't have to call multiple times to get her. Like, there was just this experience where we were like, man, she made us feel really special. Like, she was fully engaged and really wanted to sell our house. And that was impressive to me. Like,
Yeah.
I think it's really cool.
Yeah, and I think yesterday you talked, usually before we go out, our company, whether it be us, the office, someone has talked to the customer about 4 or 5 times, usually, before we go out for the first time.
So you've had 4 or 5 connections.
Yeah, connections.
Yeah.
Right? Some type of communication, and the expectations are rising.
Exactly.
And when you show up, you either need to keep those expectations at the level or raise them. And ideally,
exactly.
we can raise them.
Yeah, and so, like I said, you don't want to be just looking out the door and giving them the cold shoulder your first 3 minutes in the door. Because hopefully your past prior 3 or 4 experiences or connections have been all positive. So you want to, like you just said, keep the train rolling.
Yep.
And just by raising the bar, all you can do is just ask how they're doing. Again, going back to customer service.
Yep, I agree. Do you guys want to give any input? The peanut gallery over there? Come over and grab a mic. Oh. Over there chilling.
Grab a mic.
Like y'all ain't on the clock, man. What? So,
What's up?
we got my boy Mike L over here. He works for Aaron Overhead Doors, so I have a lot of familiarity with him. I'm super proud of him. He went through this training. He's actually in a commercial department, and Josh, our general manager, thought it would be great for him to get some experience. He's multi-talented. Like, for those of you guys who don't know, like, he does commercial install and repair, but he's got a lot of skills. So workmanship with like woodwork and stuff like that, like, he's really good at it. So in some scenarios where we need jams made or whatever trim work, like, he goes out and makes it happen, and he does a good job. So he's going to have some interaction with customers, and if we can cross train people when we're slow in one area and busy in another, we can move people. So what were your thoughts about the training?
I thought it was great. Really just first of all, a lot of things that when you're going in to the job to talk to the customer, a lot of things I learned that I say a lot that are not things that you don't want to talk about them, whether it be price or anything like that, like certain things to stay away from. And I learned a lot of techniques, I'll call them, really, to try to use to sell and everything like that. There's a lot of little things that I didn't really realize, and you don't think about really when in terms of like the psychology of it and everything like that. So.
And I would believe that you would admit that you're one of the furthest things from a salesperson when you came to Aaron Overhead Doors, right?
Absolutely not. Yeah, no.
It's not something
It
that
was
you
so
feel like
foreign
comes
to
natural
me.
to you.
Yeah, definitely not. No.
How do you feel after the training? Do you feel like you are being a traitor to like your personality, or do you feel like you learned ways that make it more comfortable?
To make it more comfortable. In the beginning, it kind of felt like that a little bit, kind of like almost faking it to make it, when I'm in there. But I mean, as you learn more about it and look into it, and like look at the way that you're doing it and the reason behind some of the techniques, it kind of starts to feel more genuine. And yeah, like I said, it's only the day, but I'm gonna like bring all the things I learned in there out to the field, and I'm excited about being able to use a lot of them, and I think it's gonna help big time.
That's where I'm at. Like, I'm excited to take some of this stuff back and
Absolutely.
really apply it and see.
Hold the mic a little bit closer.
Yeah, apply it and see how far I can actually take it once I get back. Like, I came down here knowing, you know, I've got 14 years of experience working with A1 and then working with a different company in Richmond, and like, what can I go down here and learn? But he actually taught me a lot this week, which was good.
That means a lot because I just started like a year ago. No, I'm just kidding. No, I started my company 7 years ago, but I've got over 21 years experience in sales.
Yeah.
And I've been to some of probably the best sales training in my life. And I was that guy that just consumed everything and was a sponge. And then I would critique and work on my stuff constantly. And it may not be exactly like I said it, right? Like, and that's okay. I told you guys, when you go back, just pick one thing. Like, each of you guys kind of gave a thing that you want to go back and try. Like, those are easy. You don't even have to test it. Like, I can go ahead and tell you, like, going in the garage and not looking at the garage door and almost even turning your back to the door and just looking the person in the face and having a genuine conversation about, hey, how's it going? What's going on with the door? Tell me, how long has it been happening? You know, what's your plans with the house? You know, I'm going to try and cater my outlook when I'm looking at the door to your current situation and what you want. So
that's something I definitely noticed too that I would do is when I'm like describing the issue, I'm like looking at the door, looking at the problem, because it like almost makes you feel more comfortable.
Yeah.
To like stay in with what you know or whatever. But I can like, didn't really think on how like the customer's feeling while they're staring at the back of my head while I'm talking
Exactly.
to them. You know what I mean?
I
So,
do that so much.
Yeah.
Like you said, it's kind of like we walk in and we get starstruck by a garage door, and we've seen them 1,000 times. You still want to go right to the garage door and look at it and be like, oh, all right, it's got a broken spring, track's messed up, you know, cables
you guys
off.
just stare at the screen.
Yeah, it's
like,
got right
He's
here.
like, yeah.
this is great. Right? Like, but the whole thing is like,
the
it's not
customer's
great for
standing
the
behind
customer.
you.
Yeah, and they're standing behind you, and you guys are like, man, this.
And they don't know what those things are at the same time, you know. So
Yeah, I mean, like I even have gone to the point of being like, man, this is really cool, and the customer's like, what? And I'm like, your single
Your house.
spring broke in 2 different places, and they're like, okay, and I'm like, oh, I'm sorry, you know, like, and then I realized like my fixation with the repair was on the wrong thing, right? Like I'm fascinated by how a spring broke in 2 places at the same time, but at the same time, I'm also like being disrespectful to a degree and not empathetic to what the customer's going through, right? So their pain. So what's one thing you're going to take back and implement right away?
Well, there's a couple things really. Like the first thing is definitely, you know, being more respectful to the customer, not walking in, looking right at the door, taking my time with the customer, asking them, you know, what's going on with it? Have you been having these problems? How long have you been having these problems? Put a little bit more emphasis on taking care of the customer before I take care of the door. And then applying like what you were saying was like the 10,000 cycles. I never really thought of it that way. Like there's 10,000 cycles of spring brakes, where there's also 10,000 cycles on your hinges, your rollers, your cables.
Yep.
We check all that stuff, but we don't actually go to the extreme to tell the customer, hey, this all was, you know, tested and made to be at 10,000 cycles. After 10,000 cycles, you're living on borrowed time.
Yeah.
So to try to implement more of, you know, hey, if that broke, all this stuff behind is not really too far behind it.
Yep. Cool. What are you going to implement? Your situation is a little different because you're still in commercial, but
yeah, I mean it's different, but a lot of it is still you're still dealing with customers now. Obviously, it's not homeowners, so I mean a lot of these guys are, you know, it's not their warehouse you're dealing
like,
with.
go look at the door and let me know.
Yeah, exactly.
Just get it fixed.
Make it work. They don't care how it looks or anything for the most part, but there's still a lot you can do in terms of when you're selling, because like we were just talking about with the age of all the parts, like almost always, obviously, unless they get like a spring change or something in the middle, a lot of the parts are all relatively the same age. So I find it a lot easier to, even the commercial at the warehouses and stuff, explain to them, like, listen, as of right now, I could get this working for you, but these other parts, like you see the hinge right here broken, and you see the roller over here, it's all gunked up, it's seizing. It's like that's going to happen to the other ones in a matter of I can't give you a time, but months I'll be back here working on that brand new service call. So it just makes more sense to, you know, bundle them, get them together, kind of, you know, and just stuff like that, being able to sell. Yeah.
That's like that whole thing you're talking about. How many times do you want to see me? 3 times or 1 time?
Yeah. Exactly.
So for those listening who are thinking about coming, would you guys recommend sending their people, or if you're
Absolutely.
Not even a question.
It was worth
honestly.
the 2 days, definitely.
good? All right. So the average person, well, the least amount of increase we've had from the feedback is within 30 days, people are averaging over $200 extra per ticket. So
That's
there's
the
no
least.
pressure. You guys can't be lower than that. Because I'm touting that number right now. So when you go back, like, apply these things and work on it and see the difference. And then I would love to hear the feedback, right? I love to hear, hey, Ryan, I did this, but you know, this and this. Like, if you find something that I didn't teach, or you tweak it a little bit and it worked for you, teach me. Like, show me so that I can show alternative ways and I can implement it in my training too, because I definitely don't know it all. You know, there's 50 million sales trainings out there. All of them are unique and different, and all of them are bring value in a bunch of different areas, but there's also weaknesses in every sales training. So I'm trying to perfect it and make it the best that there possibly is. So feedback from you guys is great. So first of all, I want to say thank you. You got anything you want to say?
Thank you for the week.
Yeah, I appreciate it.
Yeah.
Enjoyed it.
Did we make it fun?
Yeah, definitely.
Absolutely.
I knew it was going to be fun yesterday when I told him, it was like, you holler out Bueller. I was like, oh, this dude's great. Like, we'll be good.
we were doing
Do a roll call.
Yeah.
Roll call. I was like, hell
Roll
yeah,
call.
we'll be
I
fine.
said Bueller. For those of you guys, the young folks, don't know about that, but we have a lot of fun. We joke around. We don't take ourselves too seriously. So, but we also learn. So
Yeah, definitely.
good. All right. Anything y'all want to give a shout out to anybody? Your boss for paying for you?
Yeah.
My boss, Ryan.
Yeah, Ryan
Right.
Grant. Yeah.
Ryan Grant.
Ryan Grant, Stephanie Carter at A1 Door Company, Richmond, Virginia. I really appreciate you sending me and Tim down. It's going to pay out in the long run.
Yeah, we talked about the initial investment of the seat to come here. We talked about the flights. You guys didn't have to pay for any of that.
Yeah.
Put you up in a hotel, and then the lost revenue for not having you in the field. Like, it's a
Oh, they
pretty
lost
big,
more revenue. I went over across the street and bought parts.
Oh, there
and
you
get
go.
them shipped back to Richmond.
There you go.
Okay.
So yeah, I mean, I think this is great, but I'm almost positive both of you guys did a phenomenal job. They're definitely gonna get their money back. So make sure that they know that you appreciate them. Same with you, Brian. I know he's a phenomenal guy.
Yeah, appreciate it. Brian Kendall. I'm with Access Garage Doors out of Tallahassee, Florida.
Which is the best franchise in the industry, by the way.
Of course,
I
obviously.
don't know if y'all know that or not.
But yeah, I appreciate you sending me here. And I'll be bringing back some good stuff for us. So
There you go. And Lauren, what are you gonna tell your boss, bro?
I'm going to tell him he needs to send me down here again.
You tell her, your wife. So, all right, guys, thank you for following along with Torsion Talk Podcast. Make sure you check out GarageDoorU.com to keep up with all the things that we're doing. You can also go to Garage Door U on Facebook. We have a calendar of events that we're doing, and then we also have a page on there where all events in the industry, so you can keep up with all the things going on in the industry. So we really appreciate you. Thank you, you guys,
No
for
problem.
being engaged and awake. I think we only had one guy that fell asleep.
Yeah, he had an hour of sleep. We got to give
and
him
he had
credit.
an hour's sleep the night before, so that was the first day. But he was good the rest of the time.
Absolutely.
He told us when he came in
Oh,
today
yeah.
he'd be good. But so yeah, that's it. I hope you guys enjoyed the podcast. Hit me up. Let me know if you have any questions.